Oh my gosh, I can't even believe that I'm standing this close to a giraffe right now. Meet Rainbow. Rainbow is one of the giraffes here in captivity at Safari Niagara, and we're gonna be feeding Rainbow in just a few minutes. But first, we're gonna get kind of the lowdown from Dr. Kale, who is the animal care lead here at Safari Niagara. Tell me a little bit about the giraffes, kind of what they like, what they don't like, how they like to hang out.
So we have 3 giraffes here. We have Rainbow, Moses, and our youngest Eli. Rainbow was born in 2002, and she turns 21 this December. They are very, very sociable.
Hi, who's this one?
Moses behind me here. He is actually only born in 2015.
Oh my gosh,
So he is only 8. He's going to turn 8 years old this year.
Hi. My gosh.
The one things that they do love is food, as you can tell.
Okay.
The feeding deck is one of their favorite spots to be, and they love human interaction. They have very long tongues that can be up to 18 inches long, as you can see.
So slimy.
They are very slimy. They don't care about personal space.
No, they really don't, but I love that about them. I love how pretty they are and how graceful they are.
And one of the really cool facts actually about their tongues is that it's fully prehensile, which means that they can grab stuff with their tongues like we do our hands.
Oh.
So they usually grab leaves from branches, or they'll grab the food from your hands.
Yeah, it's very soft, but purposeful.
And that actual purple color of their tongue is thought to be almost like a natural sunblock. And what that does is because they're grabbing food at all day, their tongue is constantly out. So it prevents their tongue from actually being burnt in that hot African sun.
That makes sense. Now, who is this over here looking at the camera?
This is Rainbow.
Oh, hi, sweetie.
Rainbow is our elder giraffe. In captivity, giraffes can live up to 25 years old.
Hi, babes.
She has excellent care here and loves every bit of being here.
Moses, you get out of here. You already had your bit.
Moses is quite greedy.
Ooh, look at her tongue. I've never really seen anything quite like that before. Moses, Rainbow. And she just getting a little lick on the fence there?
Sometimes they just like to lick the salts and the different minerals that are on the metals. Actually, one of the most distinctive things about giraffes is their patterns. And
no spots are the same, right?
No spots are the same.
That's so cool.
So every giraffe is unique. Rainbow here is actually a Baringo giraffe, and Moses and Eli are both reticulated. Those are 2 different subspecies of giraffes.
Yeah, that means nothing to me. That it's like we might as well be speaking Spanish.
But you can tell just by looking at their patterns that they are completely unique, and researchers actually use those patterns to distinguish different giraffes and tell who's who.
Really? That's really cool.
Yeah.
So it's just like their name, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's really neat. Okay, are we going to see some other animals? We are, aren't we?
We are definitely going to see some other animals.
All right.
The next ones we're going to see are going to be our rhinoceroses.
Oh, we're going to go check out some rhinos. That's going to be very exciting. Okay, lots more coming up on Morning Live. Oh, hi, baby. This is the young one, right?
This is Eli.
Hi, Eli. You can have my scraps. There you go. Sorry, Moses ate all of them. So stay with us because there's lots more coming up. Lots more animals to see at Safari Niagara. Well, say hello to Nandu. Dr. Kale, how old is Nandu?
So Nandu was born in 2016, so he turned 7 this year in February. Nandu is a greater one-horned rhinoceros or an Indian rhino.
Can I feed him?
You can feed him.
What do I do?
He's quite slobbery.
I'm so scared.
You can either throw the food in there or you can just let him grab it from your hand.
Come on, buddy. Oh. You just took my hand. Oh, okay. Tell me a little bit more about him.
So, Indian rhinos are actually the most aquatic rhinos of all the species.
Which means they swim a lot.
They love to swim. Usually when they're on our front exhibit, you can often see them wallowing in the pond and getting absolutely covered in mud. And they use that as a defense mechanism, not only against the sun, but to protect them from any kind of flies or insects, and just to try to make sure that they're safe. You can tell that these guys have a lot smaller horn than, say, the common rhinos that a lot of people know of.
Yeah.
And that's what they're known for. In the wild, their horn is a little bit more longer, but because they, in captivity, they would actually like to shave them down a little bit.
Right.
So you can see that this one is quite a little bit smaller. But Nandu is also a young rhino.
Yeah, he's only 7.
He's only 7, and
He's
they
a
can live up
babe.
to 40.
40 years old, you're going to get
Yeah.
to be an old man. And you guys are doing some research here with rhinos.
We are. With our white rhinos, we actually volunteered to be a part of the AIRS program, which is the American Institute for Rhino Science.
Okay.
And what we have done with our white rhinos is we have a researcher come in and they actually take tests, do behavioral studies, and we help try to increase the knowledge for rhino science.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
we partnered with them, and they've partnered with multiple multi-international facilities to try to further get to know the reproduction of rhinos, how they behave, and all the fun, wonderful things that people love about rhinos.
They're so great. Like, they're just, you can tell they're so friendly. Like, they actually like people.
Yeah, we actually, Nandu here,
Hi,
because he
Nandu.
is so young, we actually think of him as almost like he just acts like a dog.
Yeah, really? Like, he
Yeah.
would follow you around.
He follows you
and-
around.
Yeah.
And they actually have a very unique lip, and this is almost...
This is hilarious.
This is their prehensile lip, and they use that to grab food. They'll
He's
grab
like a
grass,
lug
they'll
lady.
grab grain. They'll try to grab your hand if you really want to.
Oh yeah, and he totally will. And can people feed them, or we just get? I'm just getting special treatment because we're
People
here.
can feed them. We do have a behind the scenes for the rhinos, and that includes coming to feed the Indian rhinos specifically.
I love it. Oh my gosh, there's so much here at Safari Niagara to see and do. We got to hang out with the giraffes. We got to hang out with the rhinos. We're going to take a look at other things around the park. It is mostly focused on animals, but there's lots to see and do. But for now, I'm going to toss things back inside the studio. Well, we are now at the wolves exhibit, and as you can see behind me, there's 3 of them in here?
There's 3.
3.
2 females and 1 male.
Okay, and Dr. Kale was telling us that there are a ton of educational programs here at Safari Niagara.
Yeah, actually, we have multiple talks throughout the day. This specific location is for our wolf talk, and that runs with different speakers. And what we'd like to do is try to educate the public on not only our species here, but the species as a whole. We have, on top of the wolf talk, we have our hippos talk, we have our otter talk, we have our rhino talk, and that's just to try to give the public a more in-depth, sort of special education about what Safari Niagara actually does.
Right.
And as well, try to educate them on conservation and nutrition and stuff along those lines so that these animals aren't just seen as a wild animal.
They're so pretty.
They
I
are.
think people take for granted how pretty they actually are, even though they're dangerous, potentially.
They are actually very dangerous. We don't go in with any of our species because wild animal is still a wild animal.
Yeah.
They're very unpredictable, even though these guys specifically were raised by us. They're only 5 years old.
Oh, okay, so they don't know any other life.
They don't know any other life. They were born in
Okay.
captivity, and we've raised them here.
Okay.
But just even though because of that, we still don't take any risks, and we take all precautions and make sure that everybody is happy and safe, as well as the keepers themselves.
Right, because you've raised them to be wild animals. You
Correct.
treat them as wild animals.
Correct. We do not treat any of our animals here as pets.
Yeah.
That is a big no in terms of all of our zoological animals here. Everything is treated as their wild counterpart. Because what we want to try to emphasize is conservation
Yeah.
and show these animals more in their natural habitat. These animals are not pets, and these are not something that people could just take home and
Yeah, you can't
and
raise a wolf.
raise them.
Yeah.
Believe me, people have tried.
I believe it. Yeah, it's incredible that people would see something like this and be like, yeah, I'd like one of those for a pet. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen some dogs and coyotes that resemble
Yes.
wolves, but at the same time, you're thinking, wow, these are the real deal. And you can come and you can see them and you can get so close. I mean, you have to be safe, but you could really see them kind of frolicking. They're not hidden. They're doing what they do in the wild, and you get to come and check them out. And everything's really accessible here. You guys have a train that you can go from.
Yeah, we have our tram that goes around there's multiple stops throughout the park. It is a very large park,
It
but
is.
you're more than welcome to walk.
Yeah, get your
but
steps in.
Get your steps in, yeah. And you can see tons and tons of species that we have on exhibit here.
Amazing. Okay, well, coming up, we're going to check out some of the other attractions that the park has to offer. Lots more coming up right here on Morning Live. Well, if your kids are anything like my kids, they will be totally jazzed up about the animals here at Safari Niagara. But when my kids see a playground or a park, they want to hit it, and they want to hit it now. This is such a big, great space for them.
This is awesome. We've got everything for everybody here. We've got Sky Quest, which is a ropes course. We have a bouncy cushions, playgrounds. There's 2 other playgrounds scattered around the park. We have our splash pad that will be opening up on June 10th.
Amazing!
We have our Faraha Fairgrounds, which has a carousel and 6 other rides that are geared towards the little guys.
Oh my gosh.
We have our pedal carts, paddle boats. So you can spend all day here, lots of food, great food, in the sun, lots of picnic areas. We're perfect for birthday parties, corporate outings.
Like team building.
Yeah,
you could.
sure.
You could totally do
Absolutely.
team building activities here. I'm not so much like if you have adults
something
here.
for everybody here.
Yeah. Now, so if you're planning a day here, what kind of advice do you give to people that are bringing a family?
Come early.
Yeah.
Animals are certainly more active on earlier in the day. And in fact, if you're more interested in the animals, come on a cooler day because they definitely will be more active.
Yeah.
You know, plan to spend a certain amount of time, prepare for warm weather. So make sure that you have sunscreen and make sure you have ample water and bring a hat and be prepared for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, just be prepared to spend time here. We have a tram that goes around. There's 9 stations around the park.
Oh, that's amazing. You've got like a hop on, hop off.
It is, and it's designed as a walking safari. So you get out and you kind of, as we just did as we went around today, you watch the gibbons, which you can hear in the background. You sit and watch the big cats and see what they do, behaving like cats, and you go and feed the giraffes. And you know, those are really the unique things that you can do. But also, your kids can occupy themselves with playing on the playground and
well, and this
doing
is
some
kind
great
of
activities.
if, you know, if parents need a bit of a break, you know, parents can sit in the shade, get a cold drink, and then just let the kids, because they've got so much energy that this is how they can kind of burn it for 20 minutes, so parents can get a bit of a downtime, and then you can kind of continue on.
And we have members who come multiple days a week.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you can get a full membership here
Yeah, you
then.
get a membership. That's good from the day we open until we close. Our last event is Boo at the Zoo, which is Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, that's awesome.
Where we get some vendors around the park.
Yeah.
And kids dress up, get in for free. And it's a big early trick-or-treating for the kids.
Oh my gosh, so you've got a summer full of activities, plus then you get into the fall, you can come, you can check out the animals, you can do the, what is this called?
Sky Quest.
Sky Quest. You get harnessed in there, right?
Yes, you do.
I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna, you know, throw my kids on there and be like, good luck.
And then there's Sky Tykes, which is for the little guys.
Okay,
so not
perfect.
as quite as high.
Okay, awesome. Okay, bring the family, come to Safari Niagara this summer. The website?
www.safariniagara.com.
All right, that's where you can go for more information and you can get your tickets. This has been such a great experience. Thanks for having us.
Our pleasure.